Good day and welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Tinuade Salami. The Defense Headquarters on Tuesday confirmed that it has taken over control of Porker Town in Borno State, northeast Nigeria, weeks after Islamic sect Boko Haram seized the town. The army also said condolence searches commenced after the air and land operation that overpowered the terrorists. Porker Town was recaptured on Monday evening after a fierce battle with terrorists who have been operating in the town. Military spokesman Major General Chris Olukolade said in a statement, the ridding of Porker Town of terrorists is an extension of the string of successes the Nigerian troops have had since they commenced an extensive 6-week anti-Boko Haram operation on February 14. There appears to be palpable fear in the camp of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State as speculations were rife Monday that the six commissioners in Governor Rotimi Amaechi's cabinet were set to defect to the People's Democratic Party on or before Friday. A source in the government house, Port Harcourt, said it could only vouch for commissioners in charge of information, agriculture, works, and two other ministers, adding that those who stood for pecuniary gains could defect to the PDP. Also, a House of Assembly source said that he could no longer vouch for the all-state legislatures because some of them now believed in stomach infrastructure. He insisted that some members of the House who believe in integrity would continue to stay with the governor. Amaechi's deputy Tele Ikuri announced his defection from the APC, and the reception was organized before him by the PDP yesterday in Port Harcourt. 10 executive committee members of the opposition All Progressives Congress in Adamawa State have defected to the ruling People's Democratic Party just days before Nigeria's general elections are set to hold. The group said they were moving over to PDP in a bid to give support to Nuri Badu, who is a PDP governorship candidate in the state. Their defection was announced on Tuesday at Adamawa PDP Secretariat by the Publicity Secretary of the APC, Paddy Opinions. Thousands of supporters of the ruling People's Democratic Party today rallied in Lagos to drum up support for President Goodluck Jonathan, who is seeking a second term in Saturday's presidential election. The rally took place at the National Stadium in Surulere, where party leaders and the state took turns to address the crowd, urging them to come out in mass on Saturday to vote for Jonathan and all PDP candidates in both the Senate and the House of Representatives elections. After the rally at the stadium, the crowd then marched across the sum of parts of the city in a carnival-like manner canvassing votes for the president. Here is what the party's governorship candidate in Lagos, Jimmy Agbaje, had to say about the rally.
This rally is basically a rallying call for supporters for Jonathan's election, and you can see that the people are out there for Goodluck Jonathan, and so you can see that Lagos, from this crowd, is going to vote Jonathan. By the time Jonathan wins on March 28th, Jimmy Agbaje's elections will just be the icing on the top of the cake. You know, when you see a rented crowd, you look out there and you see that that's not a rented crowd. These are people that are passionate about what they're doing. They're well behaved. There's no money changing hands. They're not people that don't even know what is going on. You can see their reaction. They're singing, they're responding. Hired crowds or rented crowds do not respond the way they are responding. Hired crowds do not stay from 8 in the morning till past 2 in these numbers, because by the time it's 2 o'clock, then they feel that they've done their money's worth. These people are here because they believe in what they're doing and they're enjoying themselves doing it, and they're determined to exercise their rights. You can see when they were asked about their voters' cards, they are assuring that they are ready, they have their voters' cards, and that they're going to vote on Saturday.
The National Coordinator of the Oodua People's Congress, APC, has been defending the decision of the group endorsing President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term of office. Gani Adams called a press conference today in Lagos where he said the president deserves the support of all Yoruba people for organizing a national conference which the Southwest region had long been clamoring for.
While some section of mischievous people are trying to rubbish our position at the national conference, the implementation of the resolution by Federal Executive Council is indeed attestation to the trustworthiness of Mr. President. And for the singular act of keeping his promise, you will agree with me that President Goodluck Jonathan deserves support of every Yoruba sons and daughters and Nigeria entirely. Someone who promised that if you give me an opportunity to be the president second time, I will implement the recommendation of the national conference. Because he realized the importance of this recommendation. He does not even wait for second time. Last week, surprisingly, President Goodluck Jonathan implements 100% of the recommendation of the national conference. Aside from honorable heart by Mr. President, he has also shown by his conduct and utterances that he's a man full of humanity.
Now, about a week ago, Adams led the OPC in a march in Lagos where campaign posters of APC candidates were vandalized. He denied the march and a such thing took place, saying the march was peaceful.
I tell you that against the claim by APC that the protest was violent, I stand here to tell you that it was not the most peaceful protest ever witnessed in the history of this country. For a protest which involved top 28 Nollywood stars, member of several civil society groups, OPC member numbering between 250,000 to 300,000, to have lasted for 4 hours without single incident of violence is no doubt a huge credit to our maturity and sincerity of purpose. Shocking enough, they want us to believe that the protest, which initial fact can be called a road show because we simply had fun trekking from the whole toll gate to the National Stadium, was violent. That was their impression. That was the impression they created to the public. But we have investigated the matter and found out that the picture shown by one of the major television stations was indeed shot on the 8th of 2011 during a protest rally by Dr. Freddy-Fashion-led OPC to protest a threat by Boko Haram to attack the West. As a matter of fact, the real picture of the event and the story were well reported by the media at the time, as resurfaced on the internet in recent time. I dare anybody who has any fact contrary to this to come out with it immediately. And if indeed the APC had a vision of coalition of concerned Nigerian members destroying their people as they claim, they should give such picture to the police to investigate.
Delegates to the National Conference from Akwa Ibom State have opposed the creation of Oil River State. The Federal Executive Council, FEC, recently adopted a report of the conference which reportedly recommended Oil Rivers as one of the new states to be created. Former Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Nduese Esen, who opposed the creation of the proposed state on behalf of other delegates from Akwa Ibom, said there was no time the conference resolved the creation of an additional state from rivers in Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom delegation to the conference had raised the issue at its meeting at the home of the leader of the South-South, Chief Edwin Clark, and it was agreed that a statement be issued disclaiming the purported inclusion of Akwa Ibom in the proposed Oil River State. President Goodluck Jonathan has commissioned the first phase of the 504-megawatt simple cycle gas allege power plant at Umuabasi, Akwa, Abia State, saying his administration remains committed to the improvement of the nation's power supply. The plant is one of the 10 being built by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. Jonathan, who described power as a key to national development, said small and micro businesses would not survive without it. He said he would continue to work hard to move the country forward. The president said the commissioning was dear to him because the project would have been abandoned based on an unfavorable report when he was still the nation's vice president. Minister of Power Professor Chinedu Nebo said the power plant was afforded to be commissioned in the short and quick succession. Nigeria's main opposition, All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Organization, has said that President Goodluck Jonathan has commenced the disbursement of alleged 50 million naira bribe to traditional rulers and opinion leaders in the north. Addressing newsmen on Monday in Abuja, APC PCO spokesman Malam Garba Shehu said the bribe was meant to swear support of the traditional rulers for beneficiaries. He, however, did not disclose the identities of the emirs and traditional rulers. Besides, the campaign organization accused the president of having spent a whopping 1 trillion naira on hate campaign against the APC candidate. Shehu said such money was more than what Buhari intends to spend on feeding pupils if he wins the election. He also defends the source of the APC campaign funds.
If I was you, I would go to PDP secretariat to ask them how much APC is spending. Because we cannot do our own and do work for them. The second part of your question is you don't know our source of funding. This is a scandal to ask this kind of question, because your newspaper also published advertising on our source of funding. The sale of cards that is being done by BSO, the bank accounts widely advertised by Governor Fashola, who is the chairman of our fundraising committee. And we had a fundraising for young people in Lagos. All of these things are open. Now, assuming you want to help the PDP, what is the difference between 21 billion? 21 billion, which was generated around ministers. I hope you realize how it came. Around ministers and the operatives of government who handle the sale of power industry. And the trillion naira. 1 trillion is 1/4 of the national budget of this country. But this is a serious matter, and I hope we don't make a joke of this thing. It's your own money. If you are paying tax, I pay tax, and it pains me.
Now we take a short break right now. When we come back, News Now continues.
My name is Martin Onovo, a registered engineer with over 22 years international engineering and management experience spanning across Europe, America, and Nigeria. I am the presidential candidate of the National Conscience Party, founded in 1994 by the late Chief Ganifa Ahime. About 70% of our people today live below the poverty line. Millions of our youths are unemployed. Life expectancy in Nigeria is among the lowest in the world. We face a monumental national debt crisis. Adequate power supply continues to elude us, and our country ranks among the most corrupt worldwide. The 2015 general elections present us a golden opportunity to turn our predicament around. The problem is bad leadership. What we simply need is good leadership. Together with my running mate, Alhaji Muhammad Ibrahim, we promise you that good leadership that we need with our 10-care program and our accelerated development agenda. We promise to provide security and confront corruption critically, to reduce the fuel price by increased domestic crude oil refining, to increase the minimum wage by decreasing the maximum wage, to use about $9 billion to double electricity supply in 2.5 years, to promote quality education, improve agriculture, and improve infrastructure. We will do much more. What we need is your vote. Vote for a new Nigeria. Vote for NCP.
Welcome back. Brent crude held below $56 per barrel on Tuesday, on sign of slowing growth in China, and as Saudi Arabia said its production was close to an all-time high. Factory activity in China, the world's second-largest economy and top oil importer, slipped in March with the flash purchasing managers index PMI reading at 49.2, below the 50% level that separates growth from contraction. Economists polled by news agency Reuters had forecast a reading of 50.6 Brent futures LCOCI for May delivery were trading down 20 cents at $55.72 at 0856 GMT, while US crude CLC1 dropped 31 cents to $47.14 per barrel. A Germanwings Airbus A320 plane carrying at least 148 people crashed on Tuesday in southeastern France, officials have said. The jet belongs to the German airline Germanwings, a subsidiary of Lufthansa. The plane Flight 4U9525 had been en route from Barcelona to Düsseldorf, while 142 passengers and 6 crew on board. French President François Hollande confirmed the crash, saying there were 148 people on board. The Airbus A320 was flying from Barcelona, Spain to Düsseldorf, Germany, when it disappeared from radar in the Alpes-des-Hautes province after sending a distress signal at 10:49 a.m. local time. The cause of the crash is yet unknown, but it's most likely the weather. French French president said the crash A320 is 24-year-old and has been with the parents Lufthansa Group since 1991, according to online database. Armed men have killed 13 passengers traveling on a bus towards southern Afghanistan, officials say. The latest attack to the largest civilians in the country's conflict. Tuesday's killings in Watrak province, which lies close to the capital Kabul, highlighted Afghanistan's fragile security situation as President Ashraf Ghani holds talks in Washington. With the spring fighting season about to begin, Ghani has asked the U.S. for flexibility as it pulls out its remaining 10,000 troops by the end of 2016. Spokesperson for the provincial governor, Ataullah Koyani, said a group of armed men opened fire on a bus in Warlock around 1 a.m. local time, Nigerian time 9:30 p.m. on Monday, killing 13 people, including one woman. The bus was heading for the southern city of Kandahar, once a bastion of the Taliban. And now sport news. President Goodluck Jonathan has congratulated the Flying Eagles on their victory over Senegal in the final game of the 2015 African Youth Championships on Sunday. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Reuben Abati, the president said he looked forward to receiving the team at his earliest convenience on their return to the country, with the aim of honoring them for bringing more sporting glory to their fatherland. Jonathan also promised the Flying Eagles that the federal government would support the participation in the 2015 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand. Former AC Milan star Kaká said he was a better player in his prime than Real Madrid as Cristiano Ronaldo and Barcelona for Lionel Messi. The Brazilian midfielder beat the Australians due to the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year award in 2007 after an impressive season with AC Milan, and he remains proud that he outdid both Messi and former teammate Ronaldo. The 32-year-old played alongside Cristiano Ronaldo at Madrid between 2009 and 2013, and he feels they helped improve each other's game during their time together at the Santiago Bernabeu. The gifted midfielder recently joined Orlando City, and he has insisted that he's not interested in a return to Europe, with friends like Oscar Willen and Mesut Ozil trying to lure him to the Premier League. And that ends the news on TV360. Thanks for watching.